Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mercy and the name of my channel is Culture. In today's tutorial, I'm going to share with you how to sew this one side printed gather gown. So if it's something you are interested in learning, keep on watching. If you are a new subscriber, you are welcome. If you are new here, please kindly subscribe to join this wonderful family so you'll be the first to notify whenever I upload my video. This is the fabric that we are using for this tutorial, and the yards I'm using, the full yards that I'm using is 3 yards of vintage fabric, and is by 60. The length of the material is by 60, so I'm using 3 yards. So if you are using Ankara fabric, I advise you use 4 to 5 yards. So first, the length that we are working with is 45 inches. That is the length, the full length of the gown. But this first length now we are using 35. Then the ruffle, we now use 10 inches for the ruffle part. So we have 36.5 here, 1.5 for seam allowance. So the next thing now, the first step that we are going to take is our shoulder measurement. So her shoulder is 17 inches. 17 divided by 2, sorry, our shoulder is 15 inches. 15 divided by 2 will give us 7.5 inches. Then I'll add half an inch for the seam allowance, so I'm marking 8 inches. While this other side, because this is for the back, this space here is for our zipper allowance. So this is our shoulder measurement. From here now we are coming down by 1 inch for our shoulder slant. Then our round armhole is 18 inches. So 18 divided by 2 now will give us 9 inches. We'll come here again and take that same 8-inch measurement to mark to get the correct round armhole depth. Our bust is 37. 37 divided by 4 will give us 9.2 inches. 9.2. Then from her shoulder to her waist is 18 inches. Then from her waist, from shoulder to hip is 28 inches. So here now, her waist is 36. 36 by 4 will give us 9 inches. So we are using 2 inches for seam allowance, so I'm adding the 2 inches here. The bust point, I'm also including my 2 inches for our seam allowance. So our hip is 48. 48 divided by 4 will give us 12 inches. Then I'm adding 2 inches for seam allowance. At the bottom part, I'm going to, because I don't want it to be free like the hip, so I'm going to subtract 1.5 inches from the down part of the gown. So now I'm connecting my point together from the, our neck width is 3.5 inches. We'll come down by, for the neck depth we are using 4 inches for the neck depth. The back neck depth is going to be 2 inches. So this armhole part, we are going to come down by, okay, this armhole part, sorry, will come down, we'll look for the midpoint of 9. The midpoint is 4.5 inches. Then we'll come out by half an inch to enable us to curve the armhole. So this is what we are done with the markings now. So now it's time for us to cut. Then after cut, so now we are done cutting the back and the front too. I've gone ahead to add my zip. The gather is going to be at the right side of the dress. So let's take our measurement from our shoulder to 18 inches. So this is our 18 inches. Here now, we are going to mark, curve it. You give your sewing allowance, like the allowance that you are going to use to shape this other side, 1.5 inch from this place. This is the 1.5 inch. So the hip part, you are also going to mark your shaping sewing allowance, then before you add your gather to it. Our hip measurement is 24 inches. Then we have 25 here. So we are going to mark 1 inch on this side for the hip part. This is the 1 inch. This one now is for the allowance for the sewing to shape this part. You connect it to this, to the bust part. This end part 1 inch also. So from this 18 inches now, we are going to curve, make a curve. Starting from this 1.5 inch that you are going to shape the dress with. I'm just going to make a curve down. Just like that. Then you now take your measurement from this place now, round the gown. Take your measurement from this 18 inches, round the mark, the curve that you marked. Open it. What I have here is 55 inches. So now I'm going to cut the gather. I'm going to cut it 55 into 3 places. So let me take, and here is the fabric that I'm going to use for the gather. You know the length of the skirt, the gather is going to be 10 inches, and this is the 10 inches. I've already fold it, so this is the 10 inches for the gather, and this excess, look at where I've already run my stitches for the gather. So let's take the measurements that we have here. So this is the 57 into 3 places, 57 inches by into 3. That is what I call that I'm going to use for the gather. So I'll go ahead now to gather it. Then to 57, then I will leave 8 inches. I will leave 8 inches extra. So 57 plus 8 is going to give me 57. I'm going to gather it to 64 to 65 inches. So after that, I'll bring it, then show it to you how we are going to join it to the gown. So I've gone ahead to gather the fabric, the one I'm going to add to the gown. So the actual length that I gather is 65 inches. The 65, you measure, you know we have 57 when we measure the gown. So the extra 8 inches we are going to add it, because after you have joined everything, you will notice that there are some parts that is open. You will now use that extra 8. You must leave 7 to 8 inches extra for your gather. Then you now use it to cover the remaining part. So this is how we are going to place our gather. We place it on it like this, right side facing right side. You see it. Then by the time you are done gathering, it will now fall. So you place it like this. That is why you need to leave that 8 inches, 7 to 8 inches extra. The right side of the fabric will face the right side of the gather will face the right side of your gown. So you place it like this. So I'm going over to my machine now to sew it round. Then when I'm done, I'll come and show it to you to tell you how we are going to use the remaining excess, that 8 inches. I have to sew the gather and the gown round from the waistline round. So the remaining place, you know, when I was doing the gather, I said we should leave, I'm leaving 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches gather. So we are going to place it here, because this place is not covered, if you can see, when you were doing the first gather. So this excess now, that is what you are going to use to cover up this remaining part. So you see it now. Now go over to the machine and run this place straight to this part. Now this place are covered. So that is the end of this tutorial. If you find this video helpful, please kindly like, share and subscribe to my video if you have not subscribed, so you get notified whenever I upload new video. Thank you. So here is the final look of our gown. Please, if you find this video helpful, kindly like, share and subscribe to my video. Thank you for watching.